What up, people? Any tier, guild forever, whatever you want to call me. We're reviewing Weathering with you. If I were to score this movie, I'd give it either a 9 or a 9.5 out of 10. Cause this, you know what? No, that's kind of being too. No, that's being too harsh. I'll give it a 9.5, a solid 9.5. Now, the reason why it's not a 10 is because the ending did not have enough closure. I mean, you can argue for argument's sake, like, hey, look, it's kind of obvious they're kind of a thing. Yeah, I know it's kind of. They're very they're like they lightly suggested that these two are gonna be a thing, which is fine. But I feel like it would have been much better if there was closure by cutting off, not cutting off, but by ending the movie with like a kiss or like a hug, not a hug, like a kiss or a kiss confession, or like wedding scene or some shit like that, like something. But no, we got that ending, which is okay. Like they saw each other. I mean, the one closure part that I guess you can say happened is that everything ended up okay for Hodaka. For 3 years straight, he was away from her. He couldn't see her because of the mess that he got into, and he had to wait until he was 18 years old. He had to wait until he was 18 in order to be able to, graduate and then legally be able to leave or move wherever he wants. To basically be on his own the moment he graduated from high school and become 18 years old. That's what he wanted. Well, that's all he could do, but I feel yeah, well, you can say that shows that they're going to be a thing. But it's like, what the hell, dude? Like, I would have preferred some kind of better ending than that, but it's okay. It's okay. Again, for the most part, the movie was very, very good. Visuals were, Jesus Christ. Those visuals were. You get 2 thumbs up from me. Visuals were amazing, on my personal opinion. The driving force of this movie, honestly, another thing that bothered me too. We never really got a clear backstory on Hodaka. We have a suspicion that he was probably abused by his parents, possibly. I don't know 100% certain. Now, the reason why I say possibly, because in every one of his flashbacks that he had like a beat up look on his face, like he was beaten up. Now, you can argue that, wait, how do we know his parents beat him up? Maybe he just got beat up by someone at school. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. You could get away with that argument, and that literally could be a thing. And if that's the case, then why did he run away from home if it wasn't his parents? Honestly, I still am going with the fact that he had an abusive family. But it could very just well be that he had a good family, but he just wasn't in a good environment, predominantly with bullies and whatnot. But if that was the case, then he should have just told his parents about it or just not go to school. That would have been the most obvious choices. So I still feel strongly it's parental abuse. And even if it wasn't parental abuse, clearly it showed that his parents wanted him back, because it even said that they filed to get him back, so that's what they were there for. So in a way, it's like the parents did want him back. Whether the parents were abusive or not, we don't know. Again, we do not have a clear backstory. Son of a... Ow. I hit my thumb on the table. Ouch. That kind of hurt. But yeah, you get the point. I was kind of... Look, man. I'm not going to lie to you. If the movie had at least shown me more details of his life before he left to go to Tokyo, I would have been like, okay, cool. I would have given it like a 9.8 or maybe a 10 out of 10. Because that was the one thing that bugged me also. The 2 main things that bugged me in this movie. Number one, There was no kiss, confession, or none of that toward the end, which I would have liked. Number two, we didn't have a clear backstory of whatchamacallit, Hodaka's backstory. We didn't get nothing clear on that. But for the most part, it delivered beautifully a very thought-driven story. From trying to have a life in Tokyo after being a runaway to Hodaka being on the run due to the fact he was being, I'm not sure if you can say being charged, but he got more in deeper trouble by using a firearm, and then by running away too. But yeah, there's that. So possession of a firearm, and as a runaway, dealing with all that while at the same time making a life for himself in Tokyo, and then getting involved with Hina, because what really drove him to Tokyo is when he saw that light. That light apparently captivated him, and when he saw it, it's like, okay, I made my decision. I'm running away, heading for Tokyo. I'm gonna go because that's where that light lead off. The light led all the way to Tokyo. So he left and decided to make his life there, hoping to find something of evidence regarding that light. Of course, like he planned to run away. I feel like he had planned to run away for like the longest time. It's just whenever he saw that light that captivated him, that's what really made him have the courage and come up with the decision like, yeah, okay, this is it. I'm leaving. I'm running away. Let's head toward the light. As ironic as that sounds. Other than that, I really thought overall the story was fantastic. If there's the one thing that I really would want is that, honestly, it feels like when I was watching this movie, it feels like I was watching like a separate life similar to the events of Your Name. Granted, in my opinion, Your Name had, personal opinion, this is my opinion, Your Name had a much better and stronger story. Personal opinion. But overall, Weathering with You was not a bad movie either. And I thought it was cool. Now look, I know I'm not tripping, but I need someone to confirm. We did see the guy and the girl from Your Name in this movie, right? I'm not tripping. Also, the art style is very similar to it. So that's also another dead giveaway. If I were to say, what else could have happened to give this movie a stronger narrative? I would have probably wanted the relationship between Hina and Hodaka to be more elaborate, because the relationship felt like it was built on her powers. Like it was built upon that, and then it became something more. And then the relationship was kind of skimmed. I'm sure there was other things that happened off screen, but the relationship was kind of skimmed, and it wasn't correct, and it wasn't completely on screen. There's a whole lot of things in this movie that weren't exactly on screen. Hodaka's past, their development as what caused him to have feelings for her, as well as what was it? An ending that had more closure in it. The movie was, what really drove this movie is its music, visuals, and overall dynamic scenes. Like when Hodaka put himself in a predicament where he had another firearm and made the situation a whole lot worse. He's just lucky that he's just lucky that all he did was like, I mean, not lucky. I mean, no, what I was trying to say is he's lucky that he's just a kid. Otherwise, he would have faced him. Then again, it was mostly because he's a runaway. But he ended up getting probation time at most, Because he is just a kid. Like, he's 16 years old, but he's still a effing kid. I'm glad Suga or Suwa, what was her name? His name? At least he got he didn't end up going to prison or anything like that. Another thing that I don't understand, how the hell did he know where how did he know where did Hodaka would be? Like, I didn't understand how did he knew he was there. And another thing, when he was talking to that investigator, why was he crying? It kind of suggested like his wife might have been a weather maiden also. Like, that is another explanation too why he was crying. We didn't really get any more details than that. The one weakest part of the movie is there was a lot of plot holes. There was a lot of, not a whole lot, but there were certain things, very important things, that were kind of left for the reader to just use his imagination towards. And when you can argue that, yeah, not everything needs to be said, true, but the most important things definitely need to be said. Like, the whole situation with Suga's wife, and like, why was he crying? How did he know Hodaka would be there? Unless I'm missing something of how Hodaka would be there, but I don't understand why he would be crying. Like, that, I don't get it. Unless there were some things I missed. Again, Natsumi's character kind of acted like an older sister to Hodaka. She wasn't really a pivotal character. She was kind of there as one of his, I guess you can say, as a guardian for support. I guess one of his support. She acted as a supporting character to the main one. Granted, you can say her biggest role was helping Hodaka escape. That was her purpose. Of course, the main characters, the ones that made me care, the ones I cared the most for, I like. Let's be real. It has to be Hodaka and Hina. Those were the characters we care about the most in this movie. Those are the only ones we really understand. I would say Suga to an extent, because he was a very pivotal role. He kind of acted as like that mentor, or that one to help guide Hodaka whenever he was in desperate situations. So Suga did play a very strong pivotal role in the movie, in my honest opinion. Nagi was kind of there. I don't know. He was an important character, but I wasn't feeling his character all that much. I don't know. Like, Nagi was kind of like an interesting character. He was kind of there to like pretty much provide like some kind of supporting role again also, but I don't know. I didn't really care for Natsumi. I didn't really care for Nagi that much. Like, I care, but I didn't care for him like to a huge extent. The main characters I'd say most of my concentration leads towards was definitely Suga. I assume Mr. Suga, assuming that's how you say it. Sorry, I forgot his name. Hodaka and Hina. Those were the main driving forces of this whole movie. And granted, they did a good job. Like, Hina did a good job at her role. Hodaka did a good job, but Jesus Christ, kid. My goodness. I'm not even sure you fully understood whether, like, Hina was going to come back or not. But you're lucky she did. And you're lucky you only got off on probation. Because I'm just saying, you could have found yourself in a one-way ticket to jail, mister. So. But overall, the movie did what it was meant to do. I was just not a huge fan. Like, I wasn't disappointed, but I wasn't completely enthralled with the ending. You know what I mean? Like, the way it ended wasn't bad, but it wasn't perfect. That's what I'm trying to say. It was good. It just wasn't Your Name. Like, in my opinion, Your Name, that's what I'm saying. Like, the cases were different, but there was some supernatural involvement. That's what they have. That's what relates to the two. And I feel like the relationship built up stronger in Your Name than in Weathering with You. It made me care more. And the ending, even though in the ending of Your Name had no kiss, had no confession, the way it ended was very, very powerful. Not saying Weathering with You did not have a powerful ending. It's just like when I compare it to Your Name, I felt more emotional in that one versus this one. That's my opinion. But I think overall, what Weathering with You accomplished, it did what it was meant to do. It did it fine. I just wish they could have went the extra mile in certain things. You know what I mean? But overall, like I said, 9.5 movie. Not a 10 out of 10, but a 9.5. If I would have to say the most enjoyable freaking romance anime movie I've ever seen, it has to be Silent Voice. Silent Voice probably is my number one favorite. Like, for me, it's like Silent Voice, Your Name, and Weathering with You. If I had to compare three. Because Silent Voice, Jesus Christ, that movie did it solid. It did a solid job on that one. I low-key wish there was a sequel to your Silent Voice, but as of now, there isn't. It's ended anyway. But I still enjoyed it, though. It was still fun. It was still fun. It was definitely fun. But, anyway, guys, I'm not going to hold any more of your time. I'm ending it here. Hopefully you enjoyed the movie and look forward to the next one. See you guys later. Peace. By the way, I may not upload tomorrow due to the fact that it's my brother's day off. So if I don't upload tomorrow, you know. But you'll see. Peace. I'm out.